What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Bubbles BuzzerBeater, your official BuzzerBeater YouTube channel. And today I am here with Antwon, the USA U21 national team coach and now America's champion. How's it going?
Pretty good, I'd say. Pretty good, I guess.
You guess. I was going to say, it was one of the most bizarre America's Finals games ever, and mainly because of everything that happened before it. Do you want to kind of go on the timeline as to what happened? Because we game planned all week and felt good about what was going on, and then I tuned in like a little bit before game time, and there was just a chaos of messages from you.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here at work, just kind of messing around on BB, waiting for the game to start, and I noticed about 30 minutes before the lineups lock that all the salaries were updated and game shapes were reset to 7. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. That can't be right. So I checked the U21 team, and everybody was reset. And I was just like, dude, this cannot be happening right now. Because we had a fairly large advantage in the game shape department for this final. And I saw that and I was like, dude, there's no way that just happened 30 minutes before lineup. So I'm sitting here on Discord, I'm spamming messages to everybody, just trying to get people, just trying to figure out what to do, really. And I quickly found out that there was nothing that they could do about it, and I just had to kind of deal with it. And I was like, okay, so the only minor plus we had is we got to use a couple of our players that were kind of in lower game shape for the game, but it
did not outweigh the cons.
It did not outweigh what the advantage we had. So I quickly scrambled and made a lineup, what I thought was the best lineup, and I just kind of sent it. And I was expecting a loss. I'll be honest. I was definitely expecting a loss, but the team kind of dominated. They kind of dominated, might I say.
Yeah, I'll say it was the lowest scoring America's Final game in BuzzerBeater history. 67-52 final score. Just a completely grinded out, terribly hard to watch game. 29% from the field is what we shot, and we won.
Okay, hold on. Let me. After the first quarter, I was losing my mind. The end of the first quarter, the score was 12-11, okay? Yeah, and our team shot 5 for 29. Yeah. We shot 29 times in the first quarter. And we made 5 buckets. That's on pace to shoot almost 120 times in a game.
Yeah, I know. Apex came in, and we were talking to him while the game was going on. And you, the first half finished, and you said, okay, it was a pretty okay first half. And Apex was like, what do you mean first half? And he realizes he thought it was the end of the first quarter because the score was so low.
Yeah, he was mind blown. I was like, I don't blame that. I couldn't even believe what I was watching. It was by far the worst game I've ever watched on BuzzerBeater. By far.
And then for reference for everyone listening, so the United States played Argentina, and USA for their final 18-man roster for U21. Of the 18 players, we had 13 players in 9 or proficient game shape, and Argentina had 6. So we go through this whole week of game planning, thinking we have this good game shape advantage. Tactically, think about what we're going to do. It's awesome. We're like, okay, we're feeling pretty good about this. And then everything just flips on its head, and we still managed to pull it out, luckily.
Yeah, the game shape on their guards overall was really bad. And that was, like, huge for us because they had really good guards, and we knew that from the middle of the season when their entire roster was on the market. So they had really good guards, and we knew that their guards being in bad game shape was, like, a huge advantage. So we saw that. We game planned. And then that all just poofed. It went right out the window, and I was like, nice. But we won, so it's all good.
I'll say, who was your favorite person to watch in that game? In a game where no one could shoot or score at all, who was like your favorite player?
Oh, this is easy. Hobbs. Man, this guy, he dominated the paint. Complete domination from Hobbs in the paint. 21 rebounds. I forget how many of those were offensive. I'm going to check real quick. He had 5 offensive rebounds, 21 boards, and 17 points. Led the team in all those categories. So easy MVP, favorite player to watch. I felt like every possession he was getting a rebound. So that's an easy one.
He's also the one of the, let's see. So Argentina hit 3-3-pointers. They shot 3 of 23 from 3, 13%. We shot 2 of 7 from 3. One of them was our center, Hobbs, who made a 3-pointer in the fourth quarter. So pretty insane game.
I was quite shocked when I saw that too. He drained that 3 and went instantly to the bench. He walked off like a boss.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I know this is also kind of a historic season. USA usually does like really well in America, so that's kind of expected. But you went flawless as the U21 coach this season. We entered the finals at 12-0, 13-0 if you count our scrimmage, and this solidifies the perfect season. So how did you feel about the season overall and kind of the team that you were dealt for this first season?
Yeah, team was great. I appreciate all the managers that trained. The team was phenomenal. We had a really, really solid core. Like the first 9 guys that we called up, they pretty much I don't remember using a call up for like almost the entire first group because we were just pretty much in perfect game shape for the entire season. And then the depth was great. And yeah, the team was phenomenal. They played really well in every game. I don't think any game was particularly close.
This was actually the closest game of the season. The previous closest game was a 17-point win against Brazil, and then this 15-point win in 67-52 fashion was the second closest game. But essentially pure domination the whole season. So
yeah, no, the team was definitely one of the better teams that we've seen because I've been part of this program for quite some time now, and this is definitely one of the best teams we've had in recent times. So I was happy to coach them, and we pulled out a pretty dominating season.
I'll say, well, I know this is the first season that you've been U21 coach. Was there anything about like just running U21 that you either didn't expect or thought was interesting that you didn't really know going into it?
Not really, to be honest. Just because of how heavily involved I've been in for the past however many seasons it's been. Nothing really changed. I was just the one setting the lineups this time. And I got to make the decisions myself other than giving suggestions. That's also cool too.
Yeah, I'll say when I was coach, it was always nice having final say. Like I know we collaborate and everything's fun and good, but having final decisions is always fun.
Oh yeah. And I mean, we all pretty much always agreed on everything. I obviously made a couple tiny little changes here and there that I thought was better, but most of the time, like all of us that were game planning, we all agreed on what to do, and it was fun.
I'll say I know one thing that I knew I would have to do, but never realized how intensive it was, and I know you brought it up a little bit earlier, but the scouting, just in general, like having to scout everyone. We were talking about how, you're excited to start scouting for next season already, but how did you feel about the process of scouting all of these players?
Dude, I love scouting. I love it. I know G, our last manager, he hated it, and I love it because I get to see all the players first. I get to see what I see. I get to see who all is going to be available to me first. I get to see all the 18s when they were first drafted, and I enjoy it. Obviously, it takes some time. I found a system, though, that it doesn't take me a crazy amount of time, but it's obviously a little bit time-consuming. But, I enjoyed scouting a lot, actually.
Yeah, and other cool thing, too, there's, this happens. There's always a couple of players that make it, and really this season, relying on 20-year-olds wasn't as big as some previous seasons, but 4 players end up on the final roster for the U21 as a 20-year-old, and now that the age is processed, they're all listed as 21 now. But Dan Williams, Jay Colon, Carlos Calderon, and Nigel Bale, all 4 of them made the final roster. You know, a lot of them didn't play a whole lot of minutes just because game shape was awesome until we were all sent back to the 7 game shape for the final.
Sent to the Shadow Realm, dude.
Sent to the Shadow Realm. But yeah, what are you most looking forward to for next season for your first Worlds?
Honestly, my roster. I already have a pretty good idea. I've been keeping up with the 20s. Like, I've been sending messages to all my 20-year-old owners throughout this season. So I know what a lot of my 20s look like already, and I'm very excited for the next roster. I think it might be better than this one we have now. So probably that. I'm surprised we didn't have more 20s on this roster, but we just kind of didn't need them.
Yeah. And last thing, I guess, before I go ahead and let you go after this quick, just kind of like post-game recap, just fun talking about the final game. But for future seasons, now, I mean, this morning, everyone was really happy because the off-season updates processed so quickly, and everyone was really happy. And they just didn't really think about this last finals game of it resetting before then. What do you think BB needs to do for next season so that this shenanigans doesn't happen again a half hour before a finals game?
Well, this was just flat out unacceptable. So they need to figure it out. Next season it's going to be a national team issue because national team will be playing at night on this day because we'll be during the day since we're in the World's competition. So they need to figure something out. They need to figure out how to either delay the update or delay the. I don't know. They need to figure something out because honestly, it was just flat out unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, we're happy we won, but I mean, if we would have lost, it would have been crazy. And even right now, it's still crazy the fact that like we had to play a game with everyone in 7 game shape when we had a game shape advantage for the entire season's built to this point, and it was thrown out the window last minute.
Yeah, no, that was so bad. I couldn't tell you. I was going through it those last 30 minutes when I was spamming everybody on Discord trying to get somebody to reply because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should still focus on like the DMI numbers that were still there. If I should just play my best lineup, I had no idea what I was doing. So I was going crazy for those last 30 minutes, but that just can't happen. They need to figure that out.
I've seen, obviously I'm not like coder or anything like that. I don't understand like how the system works or how the site works, but I know they've pushed back like transfers, like player transfers when there's issues and the site's having problems. They just like delay those by 4 hours just fine. So I was confused as to why they couldn't push the game back to try to look for a fix. But
well, I can tell you that should have definitely been possible. I mean, I'm a software engineer myself, and I kind of know how these things work. And most of the time, pretty much all the time, when you have a website like this, you have like backups after backups after backups so that the site doesn't just explode. So there should have been a backup created before that update happened, but I don't know. That should have very easily been possible, but it clearly wasn't. So that needs fixed.
Yeah, I'll say either push the game forward, or I mean, even move it to Sunday instead of Monday, and you don't have to worry about it at all. But
yeah, I don't know, something they got to figure it out.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with that, but ultimately, USA champions.
We are the champions. I'm very happy we won despite the circumstances, but I'm pretty happy to be undefeated in my first season as coach, and I'm going to try to run it back in Worlds.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I'll go ahead and let you go. I know you're actually at work right now, and we just wanted to do a little quick post-game recap because we were both pumped to go flawless and kind of, bring some momentum in the world. So I'll let you go, but thanks for joining me, Antwon, and thanks everyone for listening.
All right. Thanks for having me.